This interview was like old home week for me. The group Nappy Roots has roots in Kentucky, my home state. These men love their hip-hop music craft, and they love brewing craft beer at their Atlantucky Brewing in the Castleberry Hill district of Atlanta. And that's where we went one-on-one. I'm sitting here with my homeboys, because I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and three of y'all from Louisville. Okay, because I'm old and forgetful, I'm going to start. I'm at the bottom. Give me your name and where you grew up.
I'm Skinny DeVille, Louisville born and raised. I grew up in J-Town.
Yeah, I'm Fish Scales. I grew up in the small town of Millersville, Georgia.
It's your homeboy, Ron Clutch. I'm repping all of Louisville, from the West End to Newburgh to Old Broadmoor to New Broadmoor.
It's your man B Still, grew up in Newburgh, Louisville, Kentucky, now living in the Highlands.
They met as students in the 90s at Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green.
Me and Clutch got there in '93, and we were the first ones that kind of met up right when school started. It might have been almost the first week of school. We just kind of, instantly hit it off, and we were both from the same city, and was living in the same area and still didn't kind of know each other. Some of our family kind of knew each other, but we really didn't know each other. And then Scales got there. You got there in '95?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he got there the year, I think my wife got there, and he got there on a full scholarship playing basketball. And then Steele was good friends with my little brother.
I knew his whole family. I just didn't never know him.
I was a little older than him. I was 5 years older than my little brother, so he was in that era. And you got there in 96, 97, 97. And so we all got there in different years, but each one of us was exceptional at rapping. And so everyone that knew our friends, like, oh, you got to meet so-and-so, you got to hear so-and-so rap. He can do it, and he can rap, And so we evolved between 93 and 97, forming the group Nappy Roots. And we started the idea in 95, kind of after we had heard Goody Mob's first album. He's like, oh man, if they can do it in Atlanta, they say the same things that we're going through here in Kentucky, that we can probably do it too. Mm-hmm. And so it knew it was gonna take some time to really get it to that level. But over the years, we developed a good friend and bond, and we put out our first album in 1998 called Country Process that got us signed to Atlantic Records.
The name Nappy Roots grew out of Clutch cutting hair in his room at school.
It had a great perspective. I think Clutch cut hair, as he said, and I think your clip was broke one day.
My clip was broke.
And Skinny, who was his #1 customer, couldn't get a haircut. So his hair just started growing out, and Skinny got good hair. I'm jealous of that, by the way. But his hair grew out, and this was around the time when Lauryn Hill said in a song, something, head full of nappy roots. And that resonated with Skinny and Clutch, who were the only ones in college at the time, and they loved that word, the phrase nappy roots. In my perspective, I came in 95. They had already been there since 93. And I seen Nappy Roots. Before I got in Nappy Roots, I seen these guys walking around campus, and I'm like, I like that. I was a big Wu-Tang fan, and I'm like, I want to be a part of that. So I got to see it from the outside and the inside on Nappy Roots, but it was the biggest thing on college campus.
So how did you all get your nicknames?
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
I don't even want to start.
I think with me probably goes back to my grandmother always telling me to be still all the time. So it just kind of came back around, and I just landed on Be Still. That's where I landed at.
Clutch.
I probably have the easiest rap name out of everybody, with Clutch being on my birth certificate.
Scales.
I wish I had a good story for you.
Scales.
It's not that fun. It's not that deep at all. My rap name was Big Mill, and that's a boring name. I know you look excited, but it's a boring name. Big Mill. I used to rhyme it with Fish Scales all the time. And my partner, Prophet, who was in the group at the time, he said, man, you should just call yourself Fish Scales. You say it so much. And it had a negative connotation, so I kind of wanted to get away from Fish Scales. And then, so I said, what is the meaning of this? Where can I find meaning in this name? And I realized that I don't follow horoscopes on zodiac signs, but that is my sign, a Libra.
Pisces?
I'm a Libra. scales.
Scales.
And so I had to find a meaning for the fish part as well. And my mother is a Pisces, so I kind of turned it into that.
Turned it into
more
something
positive.
good.
Yeah.
Skinny.
Yes, ma'am. So my mom, back when she didn't have any kids, she ran track, and that was her nickname was Skinny. And she ended up having 4 kids, and she's not skinny no more. So
You ain't either. though.
You in trouble.
she didn't need it no more. And I used to work at GE with her. I took a summer job at GE, and she was like the manager on the assembly line, and I was in fabrication. So I would always go around on my break and try to find her to say hi, and they'd be like, "There go little Skinny right there. She's over there." I'm like, "All right," and I run over there and say hi to her, give her a hug, and walk back to my spot. So I'm Skinny, and Skinny from DeVille, and Skinny DeVille. I could be Skinny De La Ville, so I just took the law off and said Skinny DeVille.
When you started out, I understand that you all actually walked away from a deal because they wanted you to be, how shall I say it, not what you were.
Yes.
That took a lot of gumption on young people's part when they're waving money in front of you.
Yeah, it was tough. So we got signed to Atlantic Records in 1998. Our first album, Watermelon Chicken and Grits, didn't come out till 2002. We worked our asses off. We toured around the country twice, 9 months one time, another 8 months the next, in a 15-passenger van. When there was 6 of us, plus a DJ, plus a road manager, plus luggage. And no one even saw that happening. And so we were grinding. The first album came out. We kept grinding. We thought the second album would kind of do what the first album did because they were so happy that we kept the lights on in Atlantic. And the second album didn't do as good as the first. And then that's when it started getting wonky, where they want us to keep doing this country, song and dance, even though we are from Kentucky. And that was our benefit the first time because no one came out of Kentucky. So they didn't know what to expect. So that's kind of how we used that coming from where no one's came from, kind of Kentucky, kind of country thing. But after the second album, it was like, yeah, we have other things we really want to do. And then by that time, the industry was changing. Record labels were collapsing. They were trying to figure out how they can get over more on the artists to stay alive. And then it was Scale's idea, we should go independent. And it was more money for the group if we went independent. And so it was a very tough struggle for us at that point when we got off the label in 2005. And we had to play dead for 2 years. We couldn't give them any music. They had to just lose interest in it because we were a platinum selling group and we act like we weren't together anymore so they could kind of go off and do something else. A lot of acts that were successful, they didn't let off the label because of just, you're under contract, you owe money. We got a lot of money on the second album, but we was able to finagle our way off, play dead. We went independent in 2005, and we ended up signing to Fontana in Grooves in 2008. We was able to come back out independent in 2008 with the Humdinger, which has our hit song Good Day on it. And so the independent side allows us to have more freedom. We didn't really want to do the song and dance. We allowed to make our own decisions and be the masters of our own fate. And that was a much better play for us. We've been with In Groove since 2008 without no complaints. We make money now off every song and every stream, every album sold. We're able to tour. We don't have management, so no one's in our pockets taking money out of our family's mouths. And because we're 4 now, we're able to really have a life 20 years later that still is fruitful for the brand and the benefit of our families.
Well said.
Well, what I find fascinating is because you are doing so well on the road, why in the world do you open a brewery?
Because you cannot retire from rap.
That's right.
You cannot retire. And you don't want to be 60 years old realizing you should have made a pivot in your 40s or your 30s.
Right.
You should always have a plan B as an artist. And a lot of artists do. But again, Scale's idea, me and him were hanging out one day and thought it'd be cheaper for us to make our
these
beer.
ideas work.
Cheaper for us to make beer than to buy it. And that was wrong.
That was wrong.
But we have fun doing it. I got into beer in my 40s, 100%. Like, this is something I'm passionate about. Scales was already into beer.
This beer is sweet potato beer. It's called 2 Whole Pies because each batch we drop 2 whole pies made by Angie and her kids. As we toured, which we toured about 200 dates, 250 sometime a year around this time, and we decided that before our shows, before our sound check, we would go to a brewery to promote the show. I don't know, I guess we didn't want to go to bars because that's too much drinking, and breweries were like a cool middle ground for us to go and promote the show for that night. And when Nappy Roots show up, we show up. So the owners would come out, they'd be like, oh, y'all Nappy Roots? Let me give you a tour of our brewery. And that happened every city we went to. That's why you can go to Instagram and see all these pictures of us going to breweries for the last 10 years. Because we would go there and we see a tour, and you can't show us something too many times without us actually doing it. We're gonna look at it, we're gonna say, wait, I can do this. And that's exactly what happened.
And just to wrap it all the way up, I mean, this kind of came out really of a passion project during the pandemic, because when Nappy Roots was off the road and we couldn't tour, you know, because the whole country was shut down, Skinny and Scales did a lot of stuff in Scales' backyard in his garage. So they brewed a lot of beer in the garage and brought some people over. I mean, I guess quarantine probably was happening, but you feel me? They was wearing masks and all that, you know, probably.
Sort of. Atlanta was
anyway, Atlanta was jumping in Scales' backyard, and that was the birth of Atlantucky. So when we got the opportunity to move into our own building during the pandemic, we jumped on that, and we've been going strong ever since and growing.
For all the beer tonight, my brother right here made it. He made the beer. You had beer tonight, he made it. I'm here to support this guy and his vision to make this thing what it is right now, and I'm so happy that y'all still here with us.
Making beer, it takes ingredients, different ingredients. It takes time, effort, you know what I'm saying? We're independent, making our music. It's just like independent craft beer, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of correlation between making music.
You're leading me into my next question, which was basically, how is making beer like making music?
So I can easily tell you. So we're about to go to the studio after this interview. Our studio session is from 2 to 9. When me and Scales get in the back, our brew days is from 8 to 4. And your brew system is your recording equipment. Your recipe are your lyrics. Your grains and ingredients, that's your drums, your hi-hats, your snares, your keys. And he's the producer. And so you spend 4 to 8 hours in the studio making a song. You spend 4 to 8 hours making a beer. Your song is, once your song is on a rough draft, you're riding around listening to it for a couple of weeks, tweaking it. That's the beer sitting in the fermenter. It takes about 14 days for fermentation to get done. Once you get that beer done, you put it into a keg. That's your mastering. You're mixing and mastering. You're getting everything down to one thing. And once it gets into that keg or the can, now you're able to listen to that song or drink that beer. That beer sitting on the shelf is the same thing as your CD sitting on the shelf. And your distributor is still your distributor. If it's gonna sell, it's about your brand awareness and your fan base. And if the customer comes in and likes your beer, he's gonna tell somebody about it, like someone who likes your song's gonna tell somebody about it. If they know where to find you, they're gonna follow you and keep up with you, and that's your experience. This is our record label here, and this is our place to make music as well as make beer. And so from there, the world is your oyster. It's about keeping up and making sure you're competing with everybody else. In Atlanta, there's so many rappers. If you want to put your beer on the shelf, there's so many other competitors out there. If your beer is good and you can get out there in front of the customer and shake hands and kiss babies like you do as an independent artist, your brand should sustain the initial hype of it. After that, you still got to pay your bills and take care of your family. That's no matter what. But if I take all the money here and go to the strip club and buy spinning rims, I'm still doing rapper stuff. So at this point, I haven't got that far yet on how different that is after that. But that's the basic part of it, though.
So basically, if you trust us with the music, if you love us, Nappy Roots for the music, and you trust us with the music, it's safe to say that you can trust us with the beer. You know, we got it's a lot of different flavors, from the Bluff to the Oktoberfest, the LL, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of folks come in that probably don't even really like beer, are not avid beer drinkers, but they come in and we got the bartenders that'll tell you, walk you through, like, okay, you like this, you like that, and bam, 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 and next thing you know, you're a beer drinker, you're a craft beer drinker.
And because we're Nappy Roots, that helps get people in the door. But some people know it's just from Atlantucky, and they find out we are Nappy Roots. So it allows us to not really say, hey, Nappy Roots, look at me. is like, hey, try the product that I've made, and we're just as passionate about making music as we are making beer.
And just like we want to give each song a different feeling, each beer is going to give you a different feeling as well.
Now you got 2 beers named after 2 albums.
Yeah.
We have LL Cool J and we have J. Kolsch as well, which is named after. We had a Goza Cat beer, which is a Goza, and we try to implement and keep it fun with, artists that we look up to or appreciate, as well as locations that we've either seen or came from, or albums that we've been a part of as well that have made our difference in our lives.
They say he's actively robbing a business.
He's robbing a business.
Police say a group of men kidnapped and shot an Atlanta business owner and well-known rapper at his brewery. Police are now looking for the people responsible.
It was August 18, 2022, when Fish Scales was robbed and kidnapped outside the brewery. He was made to drive to Hateville, where he escaped, but was shot in the leg by one of the robbers.
Man, it was like the world just got flipped upside down.
Yeah, we was
I
the
went and grabbed my
next
gun,
thing smoking.
I said,
yeah.
And thank God it wasn't, life ending, and I'm sure the trauma for him, and I'm sure he can speak for himself, but it shouldn't have happened at all, because we're good dudes and we're just trying to do something for the community to where someone thought they could take advantage, and they might have smelled that we're making money because we're opening this thing. But
we're a cashless bar, just to let you.
It's a terrible thing for us to try to take advantage of someone who's working hard. And for my brother, because I love him like my only brother, I felt the pain, and I hate that we are that to our own community. It made me realize, like, man, like we're really trying to do something for everybody, and still some people want to try to take advantage of that for their own personal gain. And it's so unfortunate. And I think we're better than this. We learn. And when it happened, Scales was worried about the brewery and how it made the brewery look. That was his first thing he said. I didn't want it to look bad on the brewery because we were just getting started, and how it was going to make other people think about us if they was going to come in or not.
That means you're doing something right, bro. You represent Atlanta the right way.
And here's the toast. So here we go. Look, this is where we were. This is where we are. And this is where we're going to be. Boom.
I don't look at it like, damn, why that happened to me. I look at it like, man, you made it out of that. You made it out of that. You could take on anything. And that's what it done for me. Every day, I wish everybody can get to the point where I'm at, without getting shot. But get to the point where you wake up and you say, yeah, man, I am blessed. I am blessed to wake up this morning. Let's start right there. I'm breathing, because a lot of people aren't, that I know. And that's where my day starts. Like, it is, you are waking up, you are putting your feet on the ground. You are very blessed. You made it through that.
That's my big bro right there.
Yeah, man. And that woke a monster in me to be thankful for that. Be thankful for my brothers. And so, but again, my biggest problem was I don't want to walk in the room. I got so much good stuff going on. Why am I walking in the room talking about this? Why am I talking about what happened to me when I got so much good stuff going on? So that was my biggest frustration, and we're kind of getting out of that. Very less and less people ask me about it. There's still people who I hadn't seen since it happened, so I give them that grace when they bring it up. But if you've already seen me, we already talked about it, we don't talk about that. Like, we on to way better things.
Yeah, true.
We can't let whoever that was win. Like, we beyond that, man. We doing great things, and it's I'm ready to work.
So let's talk about the album. You're going to the studio next
ma'am.
today.
Yes,
Y'all
ma'am.
got a new album coming out when?
Well, we don't have a date on it right now. We released Nappy for Life last October. We normally try to take our time making albums because we want to live and get that experience of just every day doing things. And as we've gotten older, I feel like making music has gotten a lot easier. We have so much more to talk about. And so what we're doing now for this project is we're dropping songs every 4 to 6 weeks instead of releasing a whole album, because now the consumption from the consumers is so fast They want an instant gratification with 1 or 2 songs. They don't get to the 13th or the 10th or 13th song. So we spent 2 years making this phenomenal album, and you only get past song 4, you go to the next song on your playlist. Streaming has changed the way people listen to music. And so we want to adapt to that as we've gotten able to grow with the industry and how times have changed. We want to change with them.
The group also wants to change lives. The proceeds from the sale of their beer, The Bluff, go to a program in the Bluff neighborhood of Atlanta. The program's called Future Successors.
Yeah, we got a program in Kentucky where I'm doing I'm a spokesman for this thing called Work Ready KY. And basically it's for any Kentuckian who has a GED who wants free trade school. So you go to a trade school, get your education, get a certificate, you get out in a couple years, you get to making your money, you don't have to pay the student loans back. So that's workreadyky.com, yeah.
You all are...
That's Nappy for life.
Yeah.
That's Nappy for life.
Right.
We're trying to make people's lives a little bit better than what they are through music.
That's right.
Because a lot of music is negative, not say a lot. Some music you hear is negative. It doesn't help push the needle forward for our culture and the plight of the African American, period. But there's some music that you can learn from, and that doesn't really get to the forefront a lot because they want us to be in this other trap mindset to where, you know, we're killing ourselves and doing things that's not conducive to our environment, our neighborhoods. But for Nappy Roots, we never really took that route. We try to think a little bit more, positive and uplifting and motivational is the word I would like to use. We're more motivational hip hop and Southern conscious, meaning you're just conscious of your surroundings, conscious of where you came from, and knowing whether it was good, keep going. If it's bad, get out of it. You don't have to be stuck in that mindset, you know, and I think that's where America as a whole should be going. You know, we should be going moving forward. America is a great country. We're probably the best country in the world. And some of the things we've done as African Americans in this country, we wouldn't be able to do that nowhere else but America.
The name of the Nappy Roots Brewery is a combination of Atlanta and Kentucky, and it all started with Facebook.
We did it around Facebook. When Facebook first started, they would ask for what name you wanted to start your page with and what is your location. And somehow at the time they allowed us to make up a word because I think I was in Atlanta, most of the group was in Louisville, Kentucky. So we put Atlantucky. And this was probably 2006 maybe, like right at the beginning of Facebook. And just over time, I think luck, man, because I love that name. Atlantucky may be the greatest part of this whole thing. I love the name. It encompasses Nappy Roots because we met in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Most of us are from Louisville, Kentucky, but we recorded our albums in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And
the Scales from Georgia.
And I'm from Georgia. And I-65, 75 North to I-24 West, to 65 North, I could do it with my eyes closed. So Atlantucky was perfect for us.
And Atlanta, it showed us so much love. Like, this is my second home. Without Atlanta, I don't think we would be who we are, period. They opened the doors to some country boys from Kentucky. I remember us coming down to Patchwork at Western. We was college students and coming down here, and we met Tip. When he was Tip, he was in our sessions hanging out. Scales they was riding in the same car sometimes. And he'll probably tell you the same thing about how we all started. It was Young Bloods, Jim Crow, T.I., and it was Nappy Roots trying to all get their start at the same time. Yeah. And the response and the love that we've always received here in Atlanta. That's the reason I brought my family down here. And my sons, they grew up here. My daughter grew up here. She's going to Fort Valley now. And I wouldn't be who I am without the support of Atlanta.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this conversation, check out the recommended videos on your screen and subscribe to Peachtree TV to see the latest from Monica Pearson one-on-one.